The morning sun spilled gently over the rooftops, brushing the sleepy village with gold. In a modest home near the edge of the town, someone woke with the soft crackling of the hearth, knowing today would not be like the others. There was a weight pressing on their chest, not from illness, but from something far more persistent, a truth left unspoken. Years ago, in the heart of a rainy season, the village had faced a great trial. A storm had torn through the valley, swallowing fields, homes, and bridges. It was a time of great panic and desperation. In those days, people turned inward, guarding what little they had left, and not all choices made were noble. It was during that storm that the person had made a decision, one small in action, but vast in consequence. In the midst of chaos, a coin pouch had fallen from an old trader's satchel. The coins spilled across the muddy road. No one noticed, but they did. Their eyes scanned the area. No one was watching. The rain muffled every sound. Their hand reached out and gathered the coins. Just a few. Not all. Just enough to survive another week. Or so they reasoned. No one had asked about it. No one accused. Days turned to weeks. Life resumed its rhythm. But the memory stuck, like a stone in a shoe. They tried to forget. They gave more at the temple, helped neighbors lift broken beams, stayed late to assist the healer. Yet none of it erased the moment. Kindness done with guilt beneath it always felt like an act. One winter, they sat by the fire as the wind howled outside. An old man had arrived at their door, cloaked in faded wool. He had been passing through and asked for warmth. Over steaming broth, the traveler shared stories, of cities where people built homes without doors, of villages where honesty was a shared oath, not an expectation. Then he said, almost absent-mindedly, what burdens us most is often not what we carry in our hands, but what we carry in our conscience. That night, sleep didn't come. The words stirred something deep. What was a few coins now? But the lie, the silence, it had grown into something much heavier than gold. They resolved the next day to act. At the market square, they waited by the well. It had become a place for sharing stories, for posting news and calling out injustices. People gathered there not just for water, but for connection. With a deep breath, they stood and raised their voice. I have something to confess, they said. The chatter died down. Curious glances turned toward them. The baker paused mid-sale. A child stopped kicking a ball. Years ago, during the great storm, I took something that wasn't mine. A coin pouch lost in the road. I was hungry. Frightened. I thought I needed it more than its owner. But I've carried the guilt every day since. Gasps rippled through the crowd, but no anger came. Only silence. I don't know whose it was. I only know I was wrong. I kept quiet. I justified it. But no good I've done since can erase the truth I buried. So today, I speak it aloud, not for forgiveness, but for honesty. And I offer this, they held out a cloth-wrapped bundle, in restitution. It's more than I took. Let it go to someone in need. The bundle was placed at the base of the well. Then they turned to leave. Heart pounding. They expected whispers, perhaps judgment. But what followed was unexpected. A soft clap came first. Then another. And soon, a rising wave of quiet applause. The elder of the village stepped forward. Not many carry the strength to speak such truths. And fewer still do it with no promise of reward. What you have done today, is cleanse a wound that many would rather let fester. Later that week, someone came forward to claim the old pouch had likely belonged to their grandfather, the traveling trader who passed through and never returned after that storm. He had been known for his generosity and had told tales of a village that always felt like home. The family accepted the restitution bundle, not in bitterness, but in honor. The coins were used to start a communal fund, one that helped rebuild damaged homes, support orphans, and provide grain for those in lean seasons. And the one who had once been silent. They found something more valuable than silver in the act of speaking. Peace returned, not the kind given by quiet rooms, but the peace that lives when the soul no longer has to lie to itself. From that day on, their voice was sought during disputes, their counsel respected during meetings. But they never boasted. They only smiled gently when others praised their honesty. They knew the truth: honesty isn't an act of righteousness, it is a release. A freedom not just from the judgment of others, but from the unseen prison within. And so, the village remembered, not just the storm or the loss, but the moment someone stood by a well and chose truth over comfort. Because sometimes, the strongest thing one can do is simply to speak. True honesty is not just about telling the truth to others, it's about having the courage to face ourselves. Even small dishonest acts can weigh heavily on the conscience, and no amount of good deeds can erase that weight until we confront it. But when we choose honesty, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's years too late, we free ourselves. It's through that inner courage that we regain peace, restore trust, and inspire others to live with integrity.